Hi, I'm Chris Quinn.
I'm Marianne Means Dufresne, and it's Meltdown Monday.
On Wednesday, and it's 72 degrees.
And raining.
That's crazy. We're here talking about building your brand and telling your story.
That's right. A lot of people face a challenge in telling their story and how to relate to people and build rapport.
I think on a daily basis, how do you tell your story, and what is the most effective way to tell your story on a daily basis?
From my perspective, it's really about relating to people, finding what's interesting to them, but also for us having a point of view, knowing what is important to us and our perspective on it.
Absolutely. And what is the starting point? I like to start with form, which is family, occupation, recreation, and motivation.
It's a good tool. We use something similar in the Dale Carnegie course where we help people picture different elements visually as a memory tool.
Sure. I mean, I think you have to have a starting point, as my friend Brian Weatherford says, have a plan. But you have to find a way to relate to people.
That's right.
How do you tell your story? Everyone has a story to be told.
That's right.
If you're looking for a way to tell your story, you've come to the right place.
That's right.
And that's what we want to do with this series. It's hot. People have problems getting motivated. It's summer.
The doldrums of summer. For many people, I know for us at Dale Carnegie, it's our fiscal year end, and then you start thinking about and planning for the next year. So you're kind of in this strange period. How do you stay motivated through that?
Yeah. And how do you ongoingly stay motivated? You know, how are you doing that?
That's right.
So one of the things that we want to do is talk about, regardless of what your channel is, this is really a short form video, kind of focused on our LinkedIn, which I call the gray hairs of Facebook. I like that icon. Let's hashtag that.
That's right.
The gray hairs of Facebook, because they're on there all the time, 365.
That's right.
But they're still challenged on how do you tell that story. And we keep drilling on how do you tell that story, because now we're in a huge transition if you see more and more people going to video.
That's right. It's a scary medium for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Because it's more than just pointing a camera.
That's right. And there's not a filter. There's nowhere to hide.
Right. But people, when I ask people what they do, people don't necessarily get excited.
Right.
But when I talk to people about their children or their travel or their pets, they get very excited.
They glow.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about how do people, what's the best way, what's a starting point for people when they want to craft their story? Where do they start?
Number one is audience.
Okay.
How you craft your story is directly related to the audience that you're speaking to,
Okay.
what their interests are. And when we think about our story, we have to think about how what we're saying is going to benefit or add value to the people that we're communicating with.
Okay. But a lot of times we're going in and trying to identify our audience cold.
Sure.
So.
How do you appear interesting?
Right. Right.
Yeah. I think being authentic and sharing vulnerability is absolutely one way to do it. And we mentioned earlier, knowing what your experiences are, having thought about your life, and having a point of view on them.
Right.
We often think as humans we're the only ones who feel this way or do this thing. We all have so much in common, and nearly anything you say someone can relate to.
Right. So what I love about LinkedIn is the fact that you can learn so much about the people through LinkedIn.
Sure.
And I'm not talking about scouring through their profiles, but I'm talking about looking at their updates, looking through who they follow, seeing who their interests are.
That's
and
right.
You're not going to do this overnight. This might take 6-8 weeks to learn who their interests
It's
are.
intentional. And we also have to be intentional about our memory. If I know Chris's daughter's name, I want to reference that later because it shows that I care about the things that Chris is telling me. That's how you build rapport with people. You care about other people.
Absolutely. So that goes back to form. Family, know who their family is, and you can do that through any of your networks. You can learn about them. You don't have to be a creeper, but at least when you talk to someone, I have one of my friends who's been on for 30 years next week, W.P. Richardson. Please tune in. We're talking half of our conversation yesterday was talking about his trip.
That's right.
Yeah,
The
his
things
cruise.
that we're passionate about.
Absolutely. Occupation. How's their business doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are they up to?
Yeah.
New marketing strategies. What do they have planned between now and the end of the year? Recreation. What are they doing for fun? Are they training? Have they been working out? I ask them. No, I haven't worked out in a month. I've taken a month off.
Yeah.
And what is their motivation? What are they doing? I love Form.
Absolutely. I think it's a great tool.
It is. And different tools work for different people.
That's right. And sometimes it's easy to get panicky when we feel like we might be under the gun. And those tools are nice to have in your back pocket.
Right. Secondly, don't throw up when you meet people. You don't have to tell them your life story.
Literally or figuratively.
You don't have to tell them everything about your business. Go to their office, learn about them.
That's right.
But we all have a story. Everyone's interesting. A lot of times it's like pulling teeth out of a shark to learn about someone's story, but everyone is interesting.
That's true.
Everyone.
We all have a different perspective. And I'm glad you brought that up because so often we think that what we say is the most important thing in that moment. People sometimes think the best conversationalist is the person asking them questions. So engage with the person and find out more about them. If you're at a loss for what to say, start engaging with this person and learn about who they are.
Right. You can learn so much by listen with the intent of listening.
That's right. Listen
You
for
really can.
understanding. Yeah.
Great. I love that. Okay, that concludes that segment.
Are we voting?
That's a digital effect without editing. We just saved about $250
Nice.
from that for our Alex Jones effect. Our next product we will be selling on our new program. We have not. It's our bottled water. A brand called You. Just remember, think about that. So think about what your story is. Whatever your product is, whatever your company is. If it's your elevator speech, what's something that's exciting? How do you tell your story? How do you craft your message? I love Peter Montoya. I went to Brandon University out in California probably 20 years ago, but it's hot outside. Encourage your friends, drink more water, hydrate, but think about what your brand is and how you craft that message. You know me. I love video. It's backwards. That's it. And I think it's an effective way, increases member retention by 50% compared with print, expedites selling decisions.
It's a great tool.
But whatever it is, if it's an update, craft it. Just don't document it, craft it.
Right.
Bring people in. If you're going to go
Tell
to
a story with it.
Funky Town Donuts, if you're going to go to Melt, I love how they tell their stories.
Absolutely.
I love ice cream. I love sweets. They post something, Melt posts something. I'm like, where am I going? Going to get ice cream at
It's like
Melt.
a magnet.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. It's like,
They're telling a great story.
Absolutely.
And it's about community.
Yeah, Funky Town Donuts does the same thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. They engage me with their great stories on their fabulous different flavors of donuts. Just like Pavlov did a fantastic job of telling their story about how they engaged the community with TCU football.
Yeah.
And tell that story with Coach Patterson.
It's a huge pastime here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the brand called You. You are your brand. Tell your story. Share our content. Hashtag
Meltdown Monday.
What's up with that?
I know, man, come on.
Come on, man. Hashtag it. Share our content. Please, our business page, Fort Worth Today. Please like us on LinkedIn. We'd like for you to do that. Yeah. Let's talk about what's trending, if you will, on LinkedIn. I like the little daily LinkedIn. I don't know if you watch that. What's trending daily? That's cool, isn't it? So today, pronounce her last name for me.
I think it's Gallic.
Gallic did something that was really cool, and she said, "Describe your job in 4 words."
Yeah.
And I love this because people were like, "Ditto, ditto, ditto," or repeat, repeat, repeat. And I thought,
that's not a fun job.
That's not your job.
Right.
So what's your job in 4 words?
Mine in 4 words, I think insight into people, circumstances, businesses. That was a lot of words, but insight was the word. Championing people, developing, and facilitating.
I I think she cheated on 4 words, but anyway.
That's 4.
Okay.
I was trying to explain one.
I said, look, I have to look. I can't. I said, describe. Look, I said, create video for business.
Okay,
Oh,
that's a phrase.
I need to work on it. Once again, we're constantly crafting our message, right?
That's right.
What we want to do. So,
But you had a starting point. You start with that, and then that is your point of view right there.
right. Here's something else that I think is really cool. Is our attention span is 8 seconds long.
I believe that.
Fox will start testing 6-second commercials during the Teen Choice Awards. Teen Choice Awards.
That's a perfect audience to test attention span.
Yeah. But I just think that's interesting. 6-second commercials. Cool.
Yeah. Nobody would fast forward through that because you can't get to the button in time.
Right. So watch our 6-second commercial. Here it goes. Great. Another one was every day is different. Eat, sleep, close, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Anyway, we can do better than that.
Yeah.
And then thank you, Martha.
Bauman.
Said, does your business have a story to tell? That's great. Of course, every business has a story to tell. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a story to tell. So,
and if you're talking about your business's story, that truly is who's your audience question. Who's your target market? Your story has to be most interesting and fascinating to them and to the people that you aspire to draw in.
Right. Rising Tide is doing a great job. They're featuring entrepreneurs every day.
Mm-hmm.
Check those out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being with us today. I've had a lot of fun.
On hashtag
Meltdown Monday.
He got it right.
Absolutely. On any day, because we don't think it has to be on Monday for you to tune in, and we don't want to be committed. Lots of different things are going on.
Yeah.
Please like our business page, Fort Worth Today.
Mm-hmm.
Please tune in. Please share our content. I'm Chris Quinn.
Marianne Means Dufresne.
And we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.